It is I, the Warrior Junior, the man who keeps going when there's nothing to go to. If you look at my thumbnail for this, I put, you know, I call it Chosesmis, but it's Christmas, whatever, and I put over. I mean, it's not that I hate the holidays. Well, maybe this specific ones that just are nonsense to me. That are bullshit. I mean, kind of keeps you from going out and doing things. I forgot it was actually Saturday night. I really forgot, which is kind of rare because I always go out, all the time. But it's fucking Christmas, everything's closed, so I was like, you know, it's okay, it's all right. Something in Hollywood, some event I read. It's supposed to be Tel Aviv, something Jewish, but I didn't really get the Jewish vibe for it specifically, so I didn't go. I'm tired of trying so hard, sometimes. When around, you're like, what's the fucking point of trying so hard? The lemon ginger this time. Tea. Still got a chai spice left, but for now, nothing better than some hot tea when it's cold outside. In my case, cold inside this place. I do have a space heater, but I don't like to use it so much because I'm paranoid that the outlet gets, the cord or the plug gets hot. I've seen the cord um, look like it was burning or something. I mean, not any smoke or anything or any sparks, but like the older one I had, like it looked like the actual outlet, the plug that was going in, looked like it was burning or something burnt. So I don't want to start a fire or anything like that. That's not my, so try to use my wits about it. Just use it for a little while if need be. So I just laid low. I got an email from YouTube saying that my some of my videos they're going to be age restricted. I wonder why. They were already age restricted anyway. I always put nobody under 18. I like to talk to adults. I'm not a good, for kids. I'm not a good, you know, I don't relate. Not when I mean kids, yeah, but like college. Anybody over 18, I do relate with some people. Wow, it's hot. Um, whoa, cool down for a minute. Yeah, sometimes it's just tough. No, man. I wanted to teach, community college or university. It gets me agitated sometimes when I think about it. I hold an EDS degree and I have a master's, so it's like, what's the problem here? Put in these applications and they don't even fucking contact you. It's huh, new jobs I applied for. Don't give up. Don't give up. You give up when you don't even get a chance. I could tell you story after story after story after story. So, me try and get my foot in the door. I just, I'm I'm talking about going to fucking places, not just emailing or fucking uh, but physically. And the reason I don't want to talk about it because it hurts. It just bothers me because you know I tried what I call unorthodox tactics. Not just for jobs, but to get anybody to listen to your fucking scripts or your ideas or anything. I don't even like to talk about it because it all resulted in nothing. It's like I'm living proof, and that's the thing. Like I know because I went down the road, like by myself, thinking that I could achieve this, maybe. I could achieve that if I just try. I could achieve that if I just try. Who knows? And I did try. And like I tried as hard as I could with a lot of things. A lot of things. Man, a ridiculous amount of things. And that's the problem. My ex-girlfriend, I remember she said, don't spread yourself too thin. And I think like the things that I tried to do, you're just too old, not practical. Some things were just too far fetched. Well, the smartest thing you did was stay in school, throughout your whole thing. Is it that smart? Is it that smart? When you apply for all these things and nobody even reaches out, you get the people reaching out to me are for insulting jobs. Insulting, what I call insulting. Here, mention one today. I got a thing from Indeed. And somebody's saying, "Oh, you look like you'd be a candidate as this." And we were talking about youth counselor, prevention counselor, something. Not really what I would really, you know, feel would be a fit for me in Las Vegas. Like 40,000 a year, what they listed it. So I said, "Well, what the fuck? Read the reviews." Reviews. I wouldn't work here. I wouldn't. I have bad experience. Not what it seems. I mean, they're all bad reviews. Job is not like it says. I immediately just said, okay, goodbye. That's what I get emails, recommendation jobs. I get another recommendation. I have a master's in PE. Hate calling it that because it's really supposed to be sports admin, but on the fucking degree, my master's, they wrote physical education. It wasn't no sports administration. There was no. I didn't take any classes of anatomy or kinesiology. That shit was ethics in sports. It wasn't physical education as much. It was sports admin. It was the sports leadership courses and stuff. There's no. I don't. Even on the site, even on the damn. The school I went to, the university. It's sports admin. Give me the degree they send it says phys ed on it. It's okay though. My friend he was more upset about it than I was. Um, Nonetheless, you would think, oh, so like that one job thing in Vegas, I was applying for all these types of teaching phys ed jobs in Vegas, And I get this one thing from, I forget, one of the employers. They go, "Oh, we might have something for you. It's working with sick kids." And I mean, wait a minute. And it says, "Well, mentally challenged." It's like kids that have trachea tubes, and they're bedridden. This is phys ed. It sounds like you more like you need somebody that's physical therapy or special education. That's not my thing. This is the things people reaching out to me for. I mean, I'm all for helping sick kids. I don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like, I thought Vegas is like a flourishing city, flourishing. Like the jobs. My God, there's opportunity out there and everything. I'm watching this guy. He drives around there, and this is recent. This is today, yesterday, whatever, and even before the rain. I'm telling you, like outside of like the casino area, I know. Listen, I've walked around Sahara, Flamingo, whatever desert. It's like impoverished, Like I saw him. He was driving around the block from the Mandalay Bay. It was like a fucking garbage, like the trailer trash with like nobody outside. Like the people living in those things. Those are probably the fucking waitresses or janitors or maybe even the floor people, the card dealers that they work across the street. They're making minimum wage, and so they pay their measly, they pay their rent, and they live right there. It's but I remember hearing that Las Vegas is like one of those cities where like a good housekeeper can afford their own home. Well, at the time, I remember, I think I asked the guy, he owns his own home. I remember like this one massage woman that I had, was a little older. She told me she bought her home in like 2003. I think it was for like 110,000. It was cute. It was a nice little one story. I think there was a pool in the back, and I remember I walked there from the Circus. I remember a couple miles away. Questionable area. I think they may have built it up since then. I don't know. I remember the area I was walking toward. It was like a bombed out. I couldn't believe, that Vegas is a sketchy, sketchy thing. Don't get me wrong. There's some beautiful, beautiful places out there to live, but you gotta have either retirement. You gotta have a set thing going on. I mean, I was trying to use common logic. I was saying to myself, okay, if I get a job being a professor at UNLV, making 60, 70, 80, whatever a year, how could you not? And then you afford your own condo or maybe even a home or something, trying to keep an open mind. I got no problem with working. The money carries. Like it would kind of be like the way that my grandparents did it. The money carried back then in the 50s and 60s. You have to go to a place where the money carries. It holds. It holds. Here in LA, in West Hollywood, the shit don't hold, man. Sorry, I'm getting kind of animated, but it sorry. I mean, uno momento, Sacramento. Yeah, the guy he drives around. He's all around Vegas. The sketchy parts and everything. You'd be surprised how close it is to the strip. It's not far away. Some of these places, like right there. I know there's a lot of beautiful areas in Vegas. You see on the map, Summerlin, down by Henderson, and lots of. I mean, I know there is. I know there is. It's just supposed to to go there with my little measly monthly check, it would be, I don't know, I can't compare it to here because I've never lived in Vegas, but I mean, just would, God, why you would think life would present more opportunity. I'm trying not to bitch and curmudgeon because that don't solve anything. I know, but I'm just really, really, really surprised that. See, the narrative is always you work hard. All these guys that are rich, Arnold or Trump, they all go, if you're willing to work hard, you could make it here. You could make it here. Dude, let me tell you something. Those guys, they all, they work hard. I'm not discounting the fact of that, but they come from like a thing where the snowball, all it had to be done was momentum going. Trump used that. I listened to an interview with him where he talked about momentum, the importance of it. And he listened to this one guy that went broke, and Trump said, what he said, he lost his momentum. And it's so true. Like, Arnold had momentum from, he was young, first off. Just like Trump was young at once. He was young once. His dad got him started. Just like Trump, Joe Weider got him started. Now, I'm not saying, he didn't help him lift the weights when he was 12 years old or 15 years old. But he brought him here. He brought him here. If it wasn't that, he would have been in it. The Rock, like Vince McMahon, pushed him, gave him a good push. So he was already a millionaire in professional wrestling before he made it as an actor. Multi-millionaire. So it's kind of easy, not saying he doesn't work hard. He doesn't, but do you see, like, my point is that it's momentum. Like, he's already got a good, like, once you're already established, they come to you kind of thing. The momentum is working, I know these are extreme examples, but it plays down even to lower, like, of my level, because, I apply for positions. I know UNLV, they want an earned doctorate degree for some of these things. I know, whatever. But I've applied for stuff where, I would qualify. And even at 2-year community colleges out there, I applied for like this, not really a personal trainer. Maybe it was like in a older, I'm really fucking surprised that nobody has really reached out to me and says, all right, come on out, we'll put you up in a hotel for a couple of nights. We'll see what you're about kind of deal here. God, it makes you feel like you're worthless. It really fucking does, It really fucking does. Wow. Start your own business. Yeah, okay. Tried getting loans and lines, credit lines and things like that. I'm giving you fucking nothing, man. You know what it all boils down to? I know what the problem here in lies, and it's not COVID. It's not me, negative attitude. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's reality. And I'm going to tell you what the reality is. Can you figure it out before I tell you? Pause this. Pause this and you think about it for a minute. Because I'm going to tell you what the reality is. Or think maybe write down your ideas and then start this up when you think, because I'm going to tell you right now what the problem here is. The problem is there's too many fucking people and not enough opportunity, lack of opportunity out there. The problem is that the people that have, now it's not just that one, there's too many people, there's more. I'm going to tell you the problems. The problems are the people that are really, really, really wealthy, control everything. And they decide, they control like all the, they need somebody or not. You know, the Jeff Bezos, whatever, you know, he controls all those people, like the $15 an hour Amazon. So what companies like that did, it took over everything. It knocked out all these other opportunities, and it forced everybody that was working for all these other companies that maybe offered benefits, they're gone. And it forced those people to become delivery drivers. It's like it knocked out anybody that was working in transportation. Now you got Uber and Lyft. You know, companies like eBay. You know, everything. I know all this shit because I've watched it in my life. I've watched it transpire. Now, if you were one of these kind of nerdy tech people that started out 20 years ago and you know had an affinity for it, I wasn't. Maybe you made good money, you know, like you were into computers and stuff like that. Good for you. I'm not. I wasn't. I'm not an IT person. I don't, you know, I don't like it. I don't care about it. So whatever opportunities there seem to, you know, out there, they're not for somebody that's wired like me. It just makes it that much harder to carve out a niche, you know, to find something that, hey, you know what, this is, I would enjoy doing this. This would be fun, you know, like I could live doing this. And the problem is there's nothing. You know, personal trainers, they're nothing but people with good bedside manner and they're glorified cheerleaders. What they're hiring, they need somebody like me. They don't need me, okay? It's not what I am. And I even try to lower myself for like a post office job in Vegas because I say to myself, okay, that's something, it's a government job, benefits, you know, you're not going to get fired if you do your job and everything. You could build a life out there. I was trying to, maybe even for like 3, 4 years, I was going to try. That's the problem. That's a problem with the U.S. That's a problem with the government. How can they not provide you like you apply for it? It should be like easier to get a government job than it is to join the military, for example. It should be 100 times easier, and it's not. It's not. I applied for these, you know, post office jobs, and they never contacted me for years. You go in the post office, there's like one person, two people working. They got all those booths empty. The government can't afford. The government can print money every fucking day. Okay, can't afford to fucking hire you though. That's a fucking problem. So if the government can't afford to hire you, you know that means this country's in trouble. It's in big, big trouble for most people. It's basically where you're gonna be either a slave for an Amazon thing, or you know if you're super lucky or the super rich, or you're gonna be living on the government assistance. That's it. That's all there is. There's like, or what? There's not enough lawyers out there, doctors. You know, where's the opportunity? Or if you're working in IT, like those people are really into it. There's you know micro exceptions to what I'm saying, but you know you should be able to figure this out. These colleges, they all try to get you excited. You know, go to, you know, $1 million. That's how much our school's offering in scholarships. For what? For what? Big deal. They don't tell you, well, you better get your, they don't tell you the commercial, but you better get your degree in a high demand field if there is one, because you're not going to get a job. You're going to have a nice piece of paper that you're going to, after you graduate, about 3 weeks later, the excitement's going to go away and you're going to be like, well, now what do I do with this? No one's hiring me. Hmm. Schools don't give a shit. They just want to make money. What do they fucking care? They're a business. I wouldn't even go if, for my doctorate at this point if it wasn't a personal accomplishment. I'm already over halfway to it, so I'm trying to. I hate being one of those guys. Oh, I did half of it, but I didn't finish it. I'm not one of those. I'm one that finishes what he starts, if it's practical and it's possible and realistic. I'm willing to jump through the hoops if but again, it's fucked up because here you are doing all this, and it's like I've seen these same schmuggies working at the markets for years now, years. What a, I mean, I don't even, I feel bad. It's like this guy that I know, I asked him, I said, why, he gets disability. I asked him, but he loves to work, and I said, but he does minion work, is what I call it, handing out flyers, under the table crap. And I said, why don't you go get, he could have worked in the market, he could have done this. And what happened was when he got his Section 8, he's so scared that, he's going to lose his Section 8 and this and that. And this, guy's like 60 years old now. He's got nothing, It's like, it's amazing. That's how it sets you up to where you can't get ahead in life anyway. Couldn't get ahead in life anyway, even if he got a job at a market. So if he's getting disability, let's say, I don't know what it is, $900 a month, 850, 900. So he gets a job at a market for $15 an hour, you know. So it's like, and you got to pay full rent or higher rent because you're making more money. How do you get ahead on that? You don't. Not here. Not in LA unless you live further out, like I forget where. Was it somewhere past Northridge, Chatsworth, or something? Like they say you can get like a townhome. It used to be for a couple 100,000. I think now it's still at 375,000. Some really high. No, no. Those people are renters. They're. I would compare it to like the Titanic, um, like having a, what are those things you go down the Colorado River, but in an inner tube life preserver or something else. It'll keep you afloat, but that's about it, dude. You're not now the people that are doing well are the people that own the properties, homes, and buildings and stuff. They're, well, I would say they're on the Titanic, but we know what happened to Titanic, hit an iceberg. But you know what I mean? They're on a cruise ship with buffets. They're not in an inner tube or in a life preserver. And this happened so quickly too, so fast. There was nothing I could do years ago. I couldn't. The chasm. That's it. I'm poor now. I was broke 20 years ago. I never had a chance. I never had a chance. And the only chances that I had, or the only chance that I had, was out of my control. The stock market, the fucking futures, it went against me. I was trying, like I was aggressively pushing to try to make, to get my condo. Like I was aggressively trying, and the market, the metals market flipped on me. I was watching it and I was like, all right, okay. So all I have to do is hit that certain number and I'm out, and we're good. Never got there. I never got even close. Never got close. About 45% of the way, if that. I wasn't greedy at all, too. My mom, she's no better. I'm not trying to belittle her or anything, but she's very uneducated when it comes to finance, planning for the future, finances, building, business. She has no clue whatsoever. She was like a nurse assistant here and there. I don't think she didn't go to school. So and even that, she bounced around from guy to guy. It's just so it's. Now my dad was not bad. He was working. Building a business and everything. And he died. He died at 38. You know. I'm not blaming my parents. I'm not blaming anything. I'm just trying to make a point of society, and you know, it's like people are very, very tight with their money, rich and poor, everybody. And the problem herein lies that when you're in the collectible business, and rich people are tight with their money, poor people are tight with their money. So it doesn't matter who your customer base is, and everybody in between is tight with their money. It makes it that much harder to turn product. I told you recently, I sold this A-Rod bat. I got 2,200 for it. I was so elated. Finally, but that's all I made. I held that thing for almost 2 years. I made $500. I put up 1,700, whatever I bought it, and I thought, I'm gonna get four, five, six, whatever. And nobody on eBay, nobody's looking, nobody's offering me, 3,000. Everybody's looking, watching. The fuck, man, something good had all these watchers, right? So you figure that out of all these watchers, somebody would say, fuck, I don't want to, I want to get this thing. I don't want to miss it. Why watch it? How long are you going to watch? You're one of 30 watchers, 30 people watching. Somebody said, dude, I want that more than him. I would remember stuff that I got. I still have some fairly rare stuff worth about that. Nothing worth life changing money, but I would contact the seller and I try to strike a deal. What is this watching? What are you watching for? Nobody's curious what it sells for. If it sells, well, when someone buys it, you'll find that out. Don't you want it? What is this watching? You can't afford it? Like I just said, people they're so tight with their money. Now this is not garbage stuff. This is not just a bat that he hold on. This is not just a game used A-Rod bat. It was actually the bat that he used for his 599th home run. I mean, signed with a Major League Baseball authentication, documenting it, and then a letter signed by him. Good shit. This is not garbage. It was so hard. I made $500 on that. Wow. these things are what I call spirit breakers. They break your spirit, you know. And then I spent 2 years, you know, buying graded comics. And I was buying a little more, a little bit here, a little bit there. And I had like 80 comics that were graded at one time with 3 boxes. And good stuff, some of this stuff. And one guy from Texas, whatever, he spent like about 12 grand with me, you know. And I did it all legitimately through eBay. So eBay takes their 10%. They nail me for 1,200, and then what I spent. So I close to double my money. But that again, that took like another over the span of a year and a half. And I'm trying to think. Maybe not even doubled my money. I made about 50%. I made maybe 3 to 4 grand. So in a year, 3 to 4 thousand is nothing. It was like one guy was so like that's why I sold them so much because it was like one guy, you know, everybody's looking. Nobody's offering me, or they offer you these really low ball offers. Now I got to admit, when I was buying stuff, I send out a lot of offers. I was doing that, you know, and I don't mind if they say no, okay, fine, whatever. But that's how I would deal. Like the good stuff I would pay a little bit more for it, offer a little bit more, but you know I bought a lot of junk too that was really fucking hard to sell. Graded stuff. I mean, I learned the hard way. And that's the problem, you know, like with a lot of this shit. There's a lot of stuff that's like borderline junk. You know, you think, oh, it's graded. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. You can't turn it. You wind up sitting on it, tying up money in this shit that you can't fucking turn. So don't say I didn't try my own making money from home. You know, I didn't try. I really fucking tried, man. You make your money on the bigger deals. I mean, but fuck, man. I think I shared this my gold story. There was one guy on eBay. He had these gold commemoratives. They're graded, and this is back when like gold was, I don't know, 1,400 an ounce, whatever. And I was basically maxing out my credit cards buying these graded commemorative gold $5 uh, gold coins. I figure it's a gold weight, you know. So even I'm paying, you know, how much was I paying? 300. You know, you're like, I'm not going to lose on the gold weight. And 4 times or 3 times or 4 times a year, they have Long Beach Coin Expo, you know, the coin show. So that's like the best place to go, you know, because you got all the dealers down there and, you know, one of the biggest shows. So I go down there, I've got like 70 of these fucking coins. Now I'm walking from dealer to dealer, and all of a sudden, what is this? What is this? What do you don't know what gold is? Like, I don't want to start up with them because they're potential buyers, but these guys they're like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, you're not even offering me gold weight. Like you're I mean, I'm carrying. So I got this backpack with 70 of these slabbed coins in a monster box. I'm carrying these things around. I'm going from here, and some of these people then they're like scanning. They're trying to check to see if they're fake or not, but no real offers. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And the last booth, the last fucking guy, I can't believe it's at the last booth, literally. There was one guy there, and I showed him. He goes, "Well, let me see." He runs off with it, but he's got family. I know he's not stealing. He comes back and he goes, "I'll take one or as many as you have for $300." And I say, "I got 70 of them. That's $21,000, right?" That makes me even out of everything what I went through. I bought them for like 3 months off of like one little by little off of a eBay deal or whatever. And I said, "This is a lot. I need that money because I got to pay off those credit cards." So basically, it was like it was calling my bluff kind of thing. And I said, you know, if you could go 310, you got a deal. And he goes, deal. And he walks out, he goes, I got to borrow 20, 30 grand. He goes to his wife. So, and he comes back. So he's going, he comes back with like piles of cash, you know. And I said to myself, okay, so I timed it out. I said, okay, well, you know, $10 times 70 would it? No, I'm sorry. 10 times, yeah, what did I get? 10 times, was it 10 times 70? The 700. Yeah, I made 700 profit on a $21,000 deal. Months of like, maybe I was buying those coins for 6 months or 4 or 5 months, a long, long time. I was adding it up. It was a long. What I went through to make 700 bucks, like out of putting up 21,000 of my own money, it was credit cards, but that said nothing. That's nothing. In gold, 21,000 in gold to make 700 fucking dollars. Now, if it was a fast deal, like okay, we're buying it right here and taking it. This one guy told me he at the Long Beach coin show one time he did a broker to silver deal where he basically just had to move you know, a pallet of silver from here to there for like 700 bucks or 500 bucks. That's a different story. I had to accumulate this shit for like 4 or 5 months and exhaust, you know, my credit line at the time, everything to make $700. I mean, 4 or 5 months. You know, it's just not. I mean, it's just not worth it. Tell me, anybody's going to tie up 20 grand, 21,000 or more to make $700 for 4 or 5. They ain't gonna fucking do it. See, you're fucking crazy. So I learned in my lifetime from doing all these deals and all this kind of shit that most of this stuff is not worth my time. It's not worth the energy. It's just not fucking worth it. Now, again, if it's fast flip stuff, that's different. 4 or 5 months is not a fast flip. You know, holding a bat for 2 years, it's not a fast flip. Very, 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 very hard to make fast flips. Very, very, very hard. Like it shows on Pawn Stars, you know, they glorify that. They try to show you, oh, you know, in the same episode, the guy buys a bike, you know, like for $500 off this chick, and then an appraiser comes in, you know, 2 minutes later, so this is worth 5,000. You'll be able to get it. Like he's easy to flip it, you know, like real easy. That's what they try to show you. Like that all this shit is easy, you know, to buy to flip this stuff. I don't know. I can only tell you from my own life experience that it's that difficult. It's no. And I'm talking about graded cards, graded comics, graded coins. I just shared a story. I walked the whole fucking coin. You know, this is before COVID. It's gold too, fucking gold. These morons, you know, like because at that show, it's the high. Most of it's the high end heritage, you know. They brag, they take the front booth, you know, like it's about they're trying to sell their $1 million coins to the elite ultra wealthy, you know, the ultra wealthy that, you know, to them. Now I'm not saying they're not tight with their money, but they have the money to buy the you know, the mega grails, the fucking super expensive shit that, you know, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. So when the shit goes up, like the Action Comics #1, you know, they can buy it for 3.2 million. Oh, it goes up. I'll sell it for 3.9 million, I made 700,000. Or 4.2 million, I made a million on 3.2. But they've got tremendous leverage. Tremendous leverage. Here, I'll share. Recently on eBay, there was a sale of, I already talked about it, $7 million for, I think it was 12, no, 14 Michael Jordan 86 Fleer rookies. Sold through Probstein, legitimate, 7 million. If you control the market, I think I talked about this a little bit, but I'm saying to myself, so whoever bought it, $7 million, they've got 14 PSA 10 Jordan rookies, Fleer. You know, that's me, you know, those people, they're playing, that's the big, you know, the people that have that, whoever owns it, it's got to be worth, who knows how much. You think they're living in a fucking poor, you know, they don't even own a house or anything? You think they're living in a little, tiny little apartment, barely surviving? If they can afford $7 million 14 basketball cards, how much leverage does that person have? That's why it's tough even to make, you know, you make a little. And what is a little? It's nothing. I'm talking about, and I'm not bragging about these minuscule profits I made, because you know I don't know who's making, you know, like people that can afford $1 million for Patrick Mahomes graded card, a LeBron $1 million, you know, who knows what their net worth is? Who knows how much leverage they have? I mean, and, you know, who knows what else they own? Who the fuck knows? But it's like a catch-22, because, like, you know, the high end shit. And I just told you, these people they're very tight with their money. They wouldn't buy, you know, like anything that's like, you know, it's called tchotchkes, you know, something, it's tchotchkes, like a collection of all these cards for like at a discounted price. Why? They'd rather have that one to brag to their friends. It's, look, I got the $1 million card. I watched some Jap, you know, some guy put a card in his pocket. It was like 250,000 or whatever, you know, like a basketball card. I don't know what the fuck it was. And this guy looked like nothing. He was like one of these Pokemon, you know, like collectors or whatever. And one guy says, "Boy, you could buy a house in Texas for the value of that card." He's like, I'd rather have the card, you know, $250,000. It was like a Luka Doncic card or whatever. I don't know, you know. Now, you know, is it possible? Is it possible to snowball? You know, like from, okay, well, you made 700 on this one, then hey, hey, let me tell you something. You know how hard it is to find one little deal on eBay? You go ahead and you buy shit off of OfferUp or any of these scam sites, you're probably gonna be fake. So at least, you know, you gotta buy legit, you know, so you don't get fucked. All you have to do is get fucked really hard, you know, then you're out. You know, believe me, I know. So you try to make these finds, like, you know, offering. These people know they're not desperate. They're not going to sell you a fucking good Mickey Mantle card for like 10% of what it's worth. They're not going. It's like cash. I mean, I start at like, you know, 50% of what I, you know, think, and then I go up to see if there's any room there. And a lot of people, they just don't. They'll hold out. They'll hold out. And so that way, but then when you do get something, you're like, okay, well, the guy, fine, I'm giving him decent money on it, and so that money's tied up. And if you're buying shit that you can't flip, look, I'm looking at cards, right now. I'm seeing like stuff, and it's just shit doesn't move like it used to, or I mean, I'm just telling you from my own life experience, dealing in comics, baseball memorabilia, um, you know, cards, coins. Shit is hard to fucking move, and I'm talking about good stuff, decent stuff. Now I can't afford to, the $1 million items or the $500,000. I can't afford any of that shit. That stuff goes to elite auctions, prestigious, the big ones, and you know that's way out of my hand. I don't have any leverage to even offer to buy, anything. You'd have to be. And you can't pick up that shit at a decent price because it's the elite stuff. So it's just a very tough thing. Like, look, I've tried to buy package deals where, okay, well, here, I'll give you like 500 for this, and I'll give you that, and these people, they just don't care. Like, they're just not money hungry. They're not desperate. They don't need it. They're dealers themselves. They're waiting for collectors, to buy. And it's like, I'm not, like I am, but there's this one guy on YouTube that says, I forget the guy's name, but it's like, he goes investor, collector. He goes collector, investor, dealer in that order. Whatever, you can call yourself whatever you fucking want, but he's not buying. He might buy it for himself, but I guarantee you he's buying shit that, he can turn. And believe me, I'm the same way. Like, I've got some stuff that I buy really cheap. I like it for me, but I'm always thinking to myself, well, dude, don't buy garbage because you should be stuck with it. And I'm not in a position to where it's like, oh, here, Lily, like, dude, the money is, and it all. This is not just about collectible business. This deals with the society in a whole, as general. I'm sorry, I'm babbling here, but I'm trying to make a really important point. When you shut off the water in life, if you shut off the money, you shut off the water from circulating. Guess what? Then nobody can get any. The money to the blood doesn't circulate. What happens when the blood doesn't circulate in your body? You have a heart attack. What happens when your water, you can't get any water? You go, people die from thirst, from dehydration. Do you see my point? The blood is not circular. The water is not flowing. Why? Because of lack of opportunity out there. Because of the fucking things where the people are not able to work to generate money so they can spend it. And I gave you examples. The government's not hiring. When they shut off the water. And when nothing fucking works, then it's like most people they're gonna die out. They're like, they get boxed out, pushed out. That's what happened to me. Now the people that have, I know this one guy. He made his money, and he's a success of the snowball. Again, I'm not saying he didn't work hard or anything like that. That's besides the point. Point is, these people that have that kind of money, they don't buy tchotchkes. They don't. They buy the high end shit. It's like they're not going to buy. They don't care like this set of maybe the 52 top set, but I'm trying to think one that's not really that big of a deal. Maybe the 1958, or the ones that there's like one card. Okay, the 60 was it the Nolan Ryan rookie, the 68 tops, Ryan Kuzma. So there's one PSA 10, one. I don't think it's ever been offered for sale. I don't know. I know there's an SCG on eBay for $1 million, but it's not a PSA. So, but you see, like somebody like really wealthy, they'd want like just they don't care about the set. They don't care about all the they want that key card is the key card in the ultimate highest grade. That's the holy grail. Why they break down those sets. Set breakers. Sell them individually. Try to get as much as they can. Or there are set collectors. I know that. I know, but it's just I see what's going on. Like I see what's going on, and I know why it's so tough. Like and the problem is like if you buy stuff that's like you're lucky to sell it. You're lucky to turn it, and most people can't afford 10,000 for a card, 20,000 for a card, more, whatever. So you've got like your people that are poor. It's like these people that go to coin shops. They can't. They're not going in there buying gold monster boxes. They're walking into coin shops and they're buying. If they're bringing their kids, they're buying them starter albums. They're buying maybe a little silver. The half dollars or the albums. They're not even. They're not. They're not. The people that have real money can afford the gold coins and monster boxes or whatever, the real high end shit. Most people don't have. Most people that have their money is tied up in their house. They're millionaire on paper. Their property is worth. But they're workers. They're minions. They're what I call the poor rich. My ex girlfriend is a prime example of the poor rich. Doesn't matter if they own 2 or 3 properties or worth $1 million. She lived in a tiny little apartment. Now I don't know. She was telling me I have no reason why she would lie about it, but she lived like a plebeian, like a poor lifestyle, which I don't. I know I'm tangenting. I'm moving on because I said everything I had to say about commerce, business, trying to work for yourself. Flipping stuff. I've already addressed all that. So now I want to talk about, my ex-girlfriend and the sickness that which I've talked about many times, but it's still relative. It's an important. It drives home a very important point. These poor millionaires that a lot of these people that the vast majority of property owners that own little houses, it's worth $1 million on paper, but they're still working poor. Like they don't. And I listen. I don't blame you. I'm not telling you to. You don't gamble it. Don't want to lose because that's all you have. I understand that, but my ex girlfriend, like I told her, I said, look, there's some great opportunities at the time. Platinum was only it was $600 an ounce about 2 or 3 years ago, and I pleaded with her, hey, you've got access to money, and she claims, oh, I own 10% of these restaurants, 10%. Fuck these restaurants. Restaurants it's a headache and a hassle. Fuck all that shit. Platinum, it's at 600 an ounce. Look at the charts. I showed her the charts. It's gonna go to 1,000 more. It's gonna double easily. But the key is, it's not. You don't have to go out and buy platinum eagles. You could buy platinum futures. And what's gonna happen is you're trimming for your like a couple 100,000 investment. You can make 3 or 4 million. It's going to go to 1,000, absolutely, based on the stat. It has to go. It has to, and it did. I was right, but she wouldn't fucking listen to me. She wouldn't invest. She was so worried about her little stupid restaurant endeavors and what she owned. I mean, she could have took me. She could have took with my proof of what I presented. Now, why didn't you do it? I don't have that kind of money. I had the research. I did not have the kind of leverage necessary. I needed, it's just not enough. It's the same thing, like taking 21,000, making 700. You need real money to be able to buy enough futures. That way, when it goes up, you can nail them, you can fucking you cash in and you cash out. And, I needed like a couple 100,000. And I knew she had it. So basically, here I am with like the invention, like saying, here, let's build this together. Like, but I need your financing to get me started. And she fucking wouldn't do it. First she said yes, then she changed, I don't trust you. You know, she could have made me a millionaire. She could have made me a millionaire. And she could have made herself multi-millionaire, many, many times over for not that much relatively. But you see, this warped, miserly mindset that she had ingrained, warped in her mind. And I've seen these people. They wind up dying alone. They marry their pets. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. They get a little dog. I've seen these people before. They just live out their existence, with a couple of their girlfriends. Was it Cruella, whatever, I don't know. Like they get old, and the Joan Collins-ish type, the Alexis, whatever. I've seen these types. That's what they are. They become old maids is what they do. Now they have money. I don't know what they spend it on. They spend it on their hair and their makeup to try to keep the facade that they look good. But these are people that wouldn't spend, to learn, again, that's why I didn't become a personal trainer, because they try to like, get everything for nothing. This guy that I know, he pays like, this is a guy that has a separate room in his penthouse, like a room. I mean, like a unit for like gym equipment and stuff, and he pays these trainers like $50 a session. $50. It's the same thing. I can't get ahead on that. If you do, even if you do it every day, it's nothing. It's pigeon money for me. It's pigeon money. It's crumbs. It's crumbs. And I won't do it. I have too much pride. I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather have nothing. And it's not pride. It's just I'm not 12 years old anymore. Like it's $100 bill is not like what it used to be. It's nothing. It's not enough to where it's worth my time. It's not. It won't get me to what I need. It won't help me get what I want. So unless it's something that's like, substantial in my mind, I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. And maybe that's the same mentality that some of these wealthy people have when it comes to collecting. I already talked about that, but I see things from the perspective that it's not about how hard you work. It's just a lot of this shit is just not worth the time. You'd rather just do your own thing, and I'd rather just go to the gym. I'd rather just invest in myself. I have enough money to survive on, not enough money to thrive on, but until something comes along to where it's like, wow, this is worth it for me, then I just can't be bothered. I don't care. It's like I have my own views on things, and they don't fit into most people's perception of, that. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I hope that maybe you learned something from my example. I'm not saying copy it. I'm not saying it would work for you, but like for me, I just I see things. I see your freedom being worth more than what society tells you it's worth. Like I have my own views on things. I mean, if your family has a good like business and you believe in it, and they start you and you can make your snowball that way, like good, but most people don't have that, and I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life, how to live it. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this for now. I'm not going to babble on. I hope that Babylon get it. Secrets, the richest man in Babylon. Acres of diamonds. Yeah, look it up. I've watched it all, man. I've seen it all. What's it called, that song? I don't know. Doesn't fucking